XLM is hovering right around that 9-cent mark, and that's where we need to be on February 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern Time as Jerome Powell and the Fed announce their next rate hike. If we get a 25 basis point hit, the green candles for XLM will continue on the way up. If Jerome Powell and the Fed come in with a 50 basis point hit to slow down the market even further, expect crypto markets to reverse and red candlesticks to lead the way. I've got an economic report that came out today that said, hey, the economy is cooling, and that puts even more pressure on JP and the Fed to go to that 25 basis point hit. Let's talk about crypto news and XLM price action. Happy Friday, everyone. You made it to the weekend. Bitcoin sitting at 22,912, ETH at 1580. I would like to see Bitcoin at 23 and ETH at 1600 when we approach that February 1st date. Broader look across the market sees a lot of red there, but it's only down by about 1 to 2% last 24 hours. Like I said, market is moving sideways based on anticipation from Jerome Powell and the Fed. All right, the White House seeks public opinion on crypto policy. Do you really want to ask for that, White House? The White House Office of Science and Technology Policy is seeking feedback from the public that will go towards the development of a cryptocurrency policy. According to the entity, public opinion on the matter will be key in identifying critical focus areas and researching and developing cryptocurrencies. This was all said in a journal January 26. I've got that for you. So if you want to let the Federal Register of the Daily Journal of the United States government know how you feel about crypto policy regulations, well, I'll have that linked in the description below. If you really do want to share your opinions with the government, make sure you read this through because there are some specifics you have to put in there when you respond to their inquiry. Here's why Polkadot is not a security, according to the Web3 Foundation. The paper, however, stated that there were steps development teams could take in order to make their projects not function as security should this be desired. In the view of the Web3 Foundation, DOT does not match the criteria necessary to be considered a security and requests a review from the SEC on the matter. When contemplating the launch of the Polkadot network, there was no intention to issue a security. We always thought as vertical agnostic, use case agnostic coordinating software, okay? Not a security, but it said software that companies can build on. And here's the tweet from them. Polkadot's native token DOT, it always has been coordinating software. Following an announcement on DOT morphing into a non-security, read the thread below to learn how DOT was able to morph what the Polkadot is and the primary goals of the network. This is a 13 segment tweet because as always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. You are welcome to read it. Americans are spending less, and that's a good thing for XLM holders out there. Americans are spending less, and it's cooling down the economy just as the Fed intended. When the Fed is raising rates, they're raising rates to make money more expensive to cool or curb consumer demand, right? We've got supply and demand issues. Since we're not fixing supply chain related stuff, the Fed's got to come over here and squash the demand side. The more you raise rates, the faster it squashes demand, and it appears that it's working. The Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge eased further in December, and consumer spending fell. The latest evidence that the Fed's series of interest rate hikes are slowing the economy, and it's working. Friday's report from the Commerce Department showed that prices rose 5% last month, a year earlier, down 5.5% from year-over-year increase in November. That was a third straight drop, very important. Consumer spending fell 0.2% from November, December, and was revised lower to show a drop of 0.1% from October to November. So spending slowed even further than what initial report said. So again, maybe those big 75 and 50 basis point hits from the Fed are actually working. Last year, holiday sales were sluggish for many retailers, and the overall spending figures for the final 2 months of 2022 were the weakest in 2 years. Again, as the economy slows, that's less pressure on the Fed to drop big rate hikes of 50 basis points. Now, my thinking is this, and we're going to get into XLM talk here soon. My thinking is this. I'm still understanding why they would do a 50 basis point hit, and that has to do with the Chinese economy opening up. With demand, right, all those consumers in there now leaving the country, right, spending money in other places, that would up the demand without the supply being there, so that could really mess up the whole supply and demand metric that the Fed has been looking to curb. Now, if they go too aggressive, right, if they go 50 and it's not needed, right, they kind of overcorrect, that could slow the growth of the U.S. economy long term, even worse than what we could be dealing with in terms of inflation impact-wise. I think this decision right here is probably the one that's the most 50-50 right now between a 25 and 50 basis point hit. Like I said earlier, a 25 basis point hit would allow XLM to continue moving green. A 50 basis point hit would pull the crypto market back on down. Stellar joins the CFTC committee. Now remember, you're going to hear a lot about Stellar in the news as they join the CFTC's Global Market Advisory Committee, specifically focusing on stablecoin usage in the Web3 crypto world going forward. A lot of exposure where Stellar is going to be happening, and that exposure is positive for XLM holders. So now let's get into the price action. Oh boy, are we getting close to the juice. This line right here is the announcement time for Jerome Powell and the Fed. And like I said, we need to be above that 9-cent mark when we hit it. And the reason why is the last time we had that announcement, they were below that 9-cent mark and they lost some of the momentum trying to cross that 9 cents, right? Trying to breach it, okay? Because remember, with XLM right now, we have to be very careful. Ceiling of 9 cents can easily become the floor if we go above it and stay above it for a few days. So far, we have stayed above it for a few days. We had one move here on the 25th where we went sub 9 but went right back up. But again, we've seen near-term resistance at 9.5. If you get a 25 basis point hit, and this is my opinion, you're going to go past this 9.5 and start moving on to the double digits of 10s. The last time XLM hit that double digit sustained of 10, it rallied right past that and went to 20 cents, had a 100% ramp up in less than a couple weeks the last time this happened, and you would have to zoom out quite a bit to get there. But you can see right now we are holding where we need to be above that 9-cent mark. I would like to see volume a little bit stronger as well, but a lot of trading is going to be put on pause until February 1st with Jerome Powell and the Fed. But as of right now, we are in good position to be above that 9-cent mark for February 1st. So you got DOT out there saying, hey, we're a software, not a security. SEC, get off our backs. I wonder what other crypto companies out there are going to do the same, especially if the SEC gives them the green light on not being a security. That would be a positive thing for the crypto market, wouldn't it? We've also seen consumer spending slow down quite heavily this last holiday season, the lowest it's been in the last several years. So maybe Jerome Powell and the Fed's big 50 and 75 basis point hits are actually working to slow down the market. Now, the Fed's announcement is coming February 1st. I know I've said it a whole bunch, but these macroeconomic things here have been the biggest price movers for XLM, XRP, the entire crypto market out there. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, because we're going to be live streaming it that day. XLM is approaching crucial price action date time-wise on that cross. 9 cent or above on a 25 basis point hit will keep us going green. If we get a 50 basis point, look for us to reverse and test on back down to that 8-cent mark. A lot of this is hinging on that 50 or 25 basis point hit, of which you should let me know in the comments below. Which do you believe Jerome Powell and the Fed are going to do, a 25 or a 50? Now, until more news breaks, I'm going to continue the cardio action, leave you with this video right here, Crypto Web3, algorithmically based design just for you by YouTube. So until more news breaks, you cool cats, have a great rest of your day.